who didn't fail, who succeeded, was Norwegian.
Norwegians.
And he was in a boat that was built in Norway
Yeah.
and has been retrieved and is still there.
All right.
And you can go on.
Recording has started, just so you guys have.
Oh,
Okay,
the end.
you made it back
Sorry.
before I started. Okay, it is 6:30 on the dot. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of July. And this is the Enfield Planning Board. We are in the Public Works Department. And we are on the Teams virtual platform. Members present from my left.
Linda Jones.
Eric Russell.
Dan Kylie. I'm David Frack.
Tim Jennings. Paul Bianco.
Bill Griffin, alternate. And serving a dual role.
Whitney Banker, staff and alternate for one last night tonight,
All right.
and also pretending to be Rob Taylor.
You don't look like Rob.
I don't, yeah.
Okay. So I have called the meeting to order. And next is the select board report.
Yeah, so we had a meeting on Monday. Sort of a business as usual, not too much that this group would be overly interested in specifically, but went over basics of, the annual budget's looking okay, a few things to be concerned about, but it's all doing well. Whitney Hall's punch list, the AV is getting installed now, so hopefully that'll be all ready to go by next month. But I would encourage, make sure to test everything before you agree to a meeting there.
Yes,
Don't want to be the guinea pig, is all I'm saying.
yep.
Because there'll be something. That's just how technology.
I have expressed that thought to Rob.
That's just how technology works. But they have scheduled the grand opening for August 23rd from 11 to 2. So there'll be more motion around that, but that'll be very nice to sort of open the whole thing up to the public, just sort of tours and such. Then we went through, the public safety director plan as proposed by the, public safety committee that reviewed it all. And we're moving forward with the plan that they proposed of not adding staff, so no new positions, but changing roles, responsibilities and titles. And it'll start with a combined position of chief of police and public safety director. That'll be a combined position, and then there'll be a few others that go, and the chief will get additional responsibilities for that building, and also some administrative, it'll provide additional administrative support for fire and ambulance and such, and that sort of thing. And then we've been reviewing and changing finance policies since last fall, and we reached the final stage and adopted those this week, so.
Okay. For those who didn't hear, Rob had a unexpected family member come in from, I think he said Lake Tahoe, is where she lives. And tonight was the only night that she had available to see Rob, so they are getting together for dinner. Rob did leave us a memo, and Whitney, could you put it up on the screen? I have not seen it. And I am not going to read it because I assume everybody knows how to read and can see it.
Give a shout when you're ready for me to scroll. It is a page and a half.
I'm ready for you to scroll.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
everybody else is.
Yeah.
Everybody ready?
Would it be possible to have that sent to us?
To have what's say? Sure. Whitney, can you
Leave a note.
do that?
I cannot, but I will leave a note for Rob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legislative report. It's summertime, the legislature is not meeting. The governor is busy signing bills. Ones that could be of interest to the planning board are summarized on this two-pager from New Hampshire Municipal Association. We are planning our legislative agenda for next year. And my personal crusade is going to be to review all of the bills that came out of the housing committee and the ones that take away local control. There are a few that I think I can buy into, but for the most part, I am gonna see if there is an appetite for either making those bills, well, now RSAs, making them, enabling legislation or repealing them outright. So that's my legislative report. Any questions? Do I have the backing of this planning board on my crusade?
Yeah,
To,
mine.
okay, anybody object? Okay,
Yeah, I have to think about that and discuss it, I suppose, so,
okay,
but I don't wanna take tonight's meeting to do that.
we can talk about that when you and I get together next week. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
question on SB 281. As residents on class 6 roads, the municipality is not responsible for any services for that individual?
that's true. According, I mean, I think that's the way it is now.
No emergency services, that's included. Even though they own property that belongs to the town, for example.
Class 6 roads currently do that. That is, currently, that is what is allowed in Enfield.
That's not,
Or
that's
district.
town policy, at least in Enfield.
Right.
Um,
Do you know what class 6 road is?
Yes.
Okay.
my objection to this bill is that class 6 roads generally have a recreation or recreational component. And by allowing development, and I'm sure the people that wrote this bill have some larger than a single homeowner development type thing planned. And that's taking away from the recreational purpose of a class 6 road. So that's my objection to it. Whether that's a valid objection or not, I don't know, but that's what came to mind.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions regarding the legislative report?
Didn't see anything in here really, other than, one about the. Let's see. It's talking about, commercial. Residential use,
631. Mixed use,
Next to, which one is it?
631.
631,
First page.
Ah, there we go. I think that's the only one that really is gonna affect what we've been talking about in terms of the ordinance. Or that is contrary to what we've been thinking we're gonna do anyway.
Could you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, I didn't say that. Requires municipalities allow multifamily residential on commercially zoned land. And our CI district, for instance, does not allow multifamily on, in that district, so that would be one thing we'd have to change in the ordinance in the old districts.
Oh, yeah, from the old, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be correct, although
You could,
631,
you could make it special exception though, because it's based on if there's infrastructure there, it's by right. If there isn't infrastructure there, it does not affect it. It's up to the town whether or not they allow it.
And then would we, as Enfield, update the definitions? I mean, I know we're kind of trying to go through and clean things up, so things are in spots. They claim that the towns are not required to update their zoning ordinances with these definitions. And that's kind of something we've been working at to
Right.
do, so we're not going to 12 different pages to try to find.
Yeah,
this
I mean, we will-
one thing.
we will try to include as much of new state law definitions in our zoning regs as possible, because we have to follow them.
I mean, the area you're not talking would affect right now, today is the Route 4 district.
Yeah.
Because right now, the Route 4 district, you're not allowed to have multifamily inside of 300 feet
Right.
automatically. But the other thing about this is it doesn't go into effect for another year. I mean, that's the one that it affects right now is the Route 4 district. Because it would say, by right, you can have multifamily any place in that commercially zoned
Right.
district.
Which,
The CI district, most of the CI doesn't have the infrastructure. So you can,
none of it has infrastructure, does it?
well, it has roads, it just
Yeah.
doesn't have.
No water, no
But you
sewer.
could,
Well, we don't have the text of the actual bill here in
Right.
front of us.
well, and that's why I kind of agree with you, Tim, is this isn't the actual bill, this is the New Hampshire Municipal Association's description of the bill.
Yeah, it said, provided that adequate infrastructure, roads, water and sewer systems are
Right.
available to support. Well, that doesn't mean,
Doesn't mean,
doesn't mean a municipal sewer system.
No,
It doesn't.
no,
Could be whatever the developer puts in.
right, the developer has to show that he has the ability,
So
which he does on any project.
So it was a single multifamily home, say 3 units, and they wanted to put a
Right.
septic system. Okay.
Yeah,
That would
I
work.
assume that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
And we don't have the text of the bill.
Okay, any other questions on legislative issues? Okay, we have no conceptuals, we have no hearings. Minutes of July 9. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I move we, accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, before I get a second on that, I want to officially elevate Bill and Whitney to be voting members tonight. So who is going to second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, abstentions.
Abstain. That wasn't there.
Okay, Paul abstains. Minutes are accepted as presented.
I think you only need one of us, right? Because
It's
Nate's the only one missing.
date.
So I'll just record Bill's.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we're just missing Nate.
yeah,
Only one abstention, right?
only one.
Thank you.
Next, we go on to old business, which is the hot zoning update. And we have three possible, areas of discussion for tonight. Reviewing the work that we did at our previous meeting on the use tables. Getting into definitions, and if we have time, starting to look at dimensional tables. My suggestion is that we go over the use table, and where we encounter a need to talk about the definition, we stop right there and take a look or have a discussion on the definition that is in question. So, Tim, do you want to lead the discussion on this, since you prepared the
Sure.
table and incorporated all of our input from the last meeting?
Yes, which I hope I correctly recorded. If we made any decisions, I did that right. Some of these, though, we were kind of came up with this designation R.
Right.
Revisit,
Yeah.
and instead of putting R in there, let's just color it yellow, meaning that we need to come back to that item. This table also includes the R135 CI and CO districts, which, I wasn't able to copy this tonight for everyone, but you were sent a copy of it anyway. So you have the old land use terms and the old districts, and then what I took the best guess as to what the new term should be, and then put it on this table, this new table. There's a possibility I may have made a mistake. So hopefully that'll come up as we get going. And then the definitions. I can't print that tonight. It would require some 11x17 paper, and it's a little beyond what I could do off my cell phone. Anyway. But Wendy, can you put that definitions table up?
This one? Go back to the top.
This be the new one?
Yeah, so
The old one.
do you have the Excel version of that?
The old one or the,
It should be that land use definitions table.
Yeah, new one. Yeah, that's the one.
I do have the Excel. This
Okay.
computer continues to be a pest, so I'm not sure how successful Excel will be. I know Rob converted everything to PDF because there isn't an account.
Right,
on here, but
can you make it smaller down the bottom, and maybe it might get us, yeah,
Well, actually, I don't think you need to see all the columns. 'Cause,
okay,
just a quick note, what I did here is put the land use terms over to the left. If I could think of a common synonym or a term that was similar, that was used in kind of colloquial use or whatever, I put that in there. That doesn't necessarily have to end up in the ordinance, of course.
Sorry.
And then, suggested proposed division, definition, which is what we should focus on. There's an existing town of Enfield definition from the existing ordinance.
Right.
And then I included the city of Lebanon's, definition. So, you know, as David said, if we go through the land use table and we come up to a definition question, we can start the discussion maybe by referring to that. So
Just one thing, isn't our existing 1,200 square feet that we got approved?
currently, but, the state changed that on us.
But I thought that's a minimum for that, not a max.
No, it was a max. I'm pretty sure.
I think David's right. I remember
Yeah,
reading it and
I
thinking
did
that
too.
can't be
I'm
right.
sitting here going,
But
it can't
no.
be right.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a mistake I made, obviously. I didn't copy that correctly, so it should be 1,200.
yeah,
Eric, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
There's a minimum size of 700 and something.
Yeah, right.
and a max.
And a
of
max
Yeah,
of
you're right.
900 and something, which is totally, I don't
975.
understand.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I think I remember us having a conversation at one point about how
Yeah.
We did.
it's kind of a problem for Enfield because we,
Because we went with a higher,
right.
larger.
But anyway,
Yeah,
for
okay.
now, that can be,
So the maximum is what now? And
we'll have to look up the new RS.
Yeah, but
Enfield-
yeah,
Enfield's is 1,200, but the
Right.
state,
it was like,
like Dave
yeah,
was saying, just
you're right.
change something.
it was like 975. Yeah,
Not, at nine
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah.
why it's such a narrow range.
Right.
Is beyond me.
Well,
okay. We can go on.
okay, so, the first line, dwelling, single family, the CI district, the note has a special exception required for a single family home.
Yeah,
Do we wanna, that comes to that 631 issue that we just talked about.
So I think last year for simplicity, we don't change, because part of the NHMA stuff is also that municipalities are not required to update their zoning ordinance with these definitions. Is the
Right.
last sentence
yeah,
here.
I know.
So for simplicity, let's stick to what we're doing.
So how would that apply here?
We wouldn't make a change. Because we've said we're focusing on the Enfield Village area, not on the other districts.
Right, but this is the only one I think we're going to need to change. Because this RSA says we gotta allow multifamily in.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, we have to get the RSA, because this recommendation also says we don't have to update the zoning, we just have to follow the RSA.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm not suggesting we don't follow the RSA, I'm saying for the simplicity of this exercise,
We don't have to put it
let's just, and for the consistency of, we're not making changes to other places,
in. Right,
let's just stay focused on what we were doing.
Okay.
yeah,
And you're correct, and the bigger change, we'll have to do it, but
right.
if the recommendation is you don't have to, let's keep it simple.
When somebody shows up though with a
Yeah,
proposal,
Oh,
we've
sure.
got to go by the RSA.
yeah, the RSA is still.
Right, okay.
Dwelling two family. Same thing in the,
Yeah,
for now,
because we're not changing our stuff.
dwelling multifamily.
Yeah.
All right,
last meeting, I threw out the concept of having two different classes of multifamily. One being a large apartment building with a lot of units, and the other being a smaller residential scale that would blend in with a neighborhood a la Eric's project. And I just wondered if people have thought about that and want to make that kind of distinction in our regs or in the definition, whatever.
It sounds like a good idea, but
Yeah.
what would, how would you be treating them differently? How do you see you would treat them differently?
The way I see it, we would not want a,
Up to 5 would be by right, 5 to 10 would be special exception,
well,
6 to 10, or
Uh,
6 and above.
I guess what I would envision is up to maybe 6 or maybe 8 by right.
Yeah.
And as I think I said at our previous meeting, anything with more units than that is classified differently.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a special exception, or maybe it's an overlay type district, just so we don't have people buying out single-family homes to the point where they've got 5 or 6 lots right
Right.
next to each other, and they decide to put up a 30-unit apartment building, which would not fit in the character of the neighborhood.
Seems like 8's an awfully high number to fit in the character of a neighborhood. Currently, we're up to 4.
No, no.
No,
If you go above 2, you have to have major site plan.
right,
The rules for like my thing and the rules for Laramie Farms are exactly the same.
And that seems a little unfair.
And so I agree with it.
it's just.
But
where
it's a
you
good
want the
example. I mean,
cutoff.
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like pick on myself. or
No, no,
them.
but, yeah,
I
exactly,
mean,
it's where's the cutoff?
Right. One comment on thinking about the line. At 4 is where mortgages switch to being commercial. So
Mhm.
that's one line. Like, if you're thinking about it as a primary residence, 4 is the limit for somebody to buy using a primary mortgage. And there's also differences, I don't know about all insurances, but many insurances are different. So other industries draw a line between 4 and 5.
Mhm.
But I agree. I think that thinking through what would be the right number is a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not tied to 8 or.
And neither
or
am I.
anything.
I'm just saying that's a line that other industries use, so it might be a natural line.
Do we want to think about this or discuss some more, or do we want to say that 4 or fewer is one category and 5 or greater is another?
I think that's a good idea for now.
Right,
Because
Keeps consistency.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
They'll be dealing with.
Yeah,
yeah, it's,
and I think that the 4 or fewer, like anywhere you're allowing a duplex.
Right.
Particularly because of the 280U law, you're also allowing 3.
Yeah,
So I think anywhere you're allowing more than just a single family home, allow up to the 4.
so do we want to, in our residential table, do we want to add another line? Multifamily, less than 4 or fewer, and then another one, multifamily.
We can almost just use the dwelling 2-family line and go dwelling 2 to 4, and then dwelling multifamily 5+.
Yeah.
And that can get us out of site plan review
Right.
right.
for, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know if this is a hindrance to what you just said, but when you get to 3-family, the building code changes.
Yeah, but that's not a planning problem necessarily. Certainly, you're absolutely correct. Like,
right,
I have to build my thing to the multifamily building code.
Right.
And every property owner would have to do that. But in terms of what would be allowed for a homeowner to do,
Okay, so dwelling 2-family would change to what?
2
2 to 4,
2 to 4.
and then multifamily 5+.
5+.
All right,
Seems reasonable for now.
so then we need to go through the table then.
Then we need to go through the table on the 5+.
So EV up to 4.
allowed, 2 to 4, I think would be allowed in those 3 zones.
Yeah,
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 How about in R1, 3, 5?
well,
Well, they're currently allowed 2 family.
we're not gonna change R1, the other districts, right?
right,
right.
Right, so we don't need to discuss that.
So
Well-
let's just
yeah,
leave it as it is
for now,
Yeah,
and move on
Right.
to multifamily more than 4.
Well, no, because if you're saying we're changing the dwelling 2 family line to dwelling 2 to 4 family, then R1, R3 no longer applies.
Why does it not apply?
Because you're, in the current ordinance, you can only have 3 family in the R1 and R3,
right.
not 4. Not 4 family.
Okay,
I think we may need the 2 family to, oh, sorry, no.
or it gets back to, do you have to have 2 different tables?
Yeah, for now you do.
Yeah,
For now, you have to have 2 different tables, because if we're not changing anything in the R1, 3, 5, CI and CO,
Well, I think all you gotta do is just start a new line in
Yeah.
here.
okay,
Do that, yeah, that'll work.
Just tell me what you guys wanna do, and then
Yeah.
I'll see if I can make the change look right.
so the consensus is add a line.
yeah, add a line.
now there's a good old fashioned name, Adeline.
Yeah,
I was just about to sing a song. Sweet Adeline. You know what?
thank God you were about to.
I have never been noted for being able to carry a tune.
Okay, accessory dwelling.
ADUs.
I wonder if this really even needs to be in this table, because there's a section. Well, I withdraw that comment. The reason the question mark is on CI is, how does that apply?
Well, if somebody gets a single family dwelling by special
By
exception,
special exception, they
then
automatically can put accessory dwellings by state law.
I'm not so sure of that. Because state law says that you have to allow ADUs in all districts that allow single family. So the special exception
Is not an allowed.
is not an allowed use. So I'm going to say that an ADU probably would not be allowed with the special exception.
Or we could put S there.
Oh, put S with a special, that they get. a
Oh, yeah,
special
okay, yes,
exception.
yeah.
Yeah, they can put that.
Although, let me push back on this slightly. I don't think if we change the CI to allow all of the housing that we do in the other districts, I don't think anybody's gonna blink an eye about that. You know, we did the best we can to not change the districts, but some issues just forcing our hand on it, and
Right.
I think
As long as we put it in the, yeah,
as long as we make it really clear that we're not changing anything in these other districts except for these 5 things or whatever that might be. You know, make it very prominent that we're not trying to pull anybody's wool over anyone's head. It's just what it is.
right.
Just my thought.
Question.
Yeah.
I hate to go back to the dwelling issue again. If we group 2 to 4 together, 2 previously, R5 was allowed. R3 and plus was not allowed in R5, so that we'll have to change the use districts what's allowable for the grouping 2 to 4 and then 5 and more?
Yeah, and as I'm thinking about how to do that, we could also have the, I'll color the cell gray and a little note up that just not applicable.
I think Tim already suggests, I think he's right. Just, you end up adding a line, dwelling 2 family stays the same, and you add a line, dwelling 3/4.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and where it
And
doesn't,
then in the future, you collapse the table.
And so 3-4, we haven't made a decision yet on whether it's allowed or not allowed in R5 at this point. Is that a correct statement?
We're trying to not make changes
So we can't,
in those districts.
We're just trying to focus on.
We're trying to just stay focused on the first 3.
so that it's not gonna be allowed. If it's not allowed now, it won't be
Won't
allowed.
be allowed then.
It won't be allowed this year.
Right.
but I think I can make that work,
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's clear, you know.
yeah.
Okay, so the term mixed use buildings, the reason I highlighted that whole line in yellow is I don't think this term needs to be here.
Yeah.
Provision in our, I think in our ordinance should be that mixed use buildings are allowed in all districts. And this doesn't necessarily going to apply to residential. We'd need to repeat it in the commercial and everything else.
Would you want a mixed use building in R 1, 3, and 5? And conservation? Mixed use being both commercial and residential?
Well, it could be any 2 uses. It wouldn't have to necessarily be restricted to commercial.
I think the one value to having it is, this is the table that everyone's gonna look at. No one's, even if we do like that list of things that are allowed everywhere, it's just not gonna get read. Like,
Okay,
people are gonna look at this table.
Yeah.
Cause this is a good table in the end.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
So what about R 5 through 5, R through CO, mixed use? It's not really addressed in the old ordinance.
No, it's not.
Well, is commercial appropriate in any of those districts?
Well, if home-based businesses and offices are allowed.
Right.
Then you have,
It already is then.
right,
Yeah, but then you gotta define where a
Yeah, the mixed
home-based
use.
business becomes
Um,
a
Commercial.
commercial. And
Our existing definition, mixed use, any combination of permitted uses in the affected district.
Oh,
so then we're fine.
right,
Yeah, I think we
Cause it's a
could,
mix of permitted uses, not a mix of all uses,
right. It's
Okay.
it's permitted uses only,
based on that definition you just read.
which basically means you could have a house and an agricultural use
Right.
Mhm.
in the R5.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
based on what you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
read as the definition, I think,
Yeah, I mean, if
I think it
it,
addresses your.
It's only
concern.
permitted uses.
Yeah. it's-
if it goes back to permitted uses,
Right.
that's fine, yeah. It's not a problem then.
So they'll be allowed in all districts then?
Yeah, it is, because it's permitted uses, yeah.
Well, do we need to look at the use table in the current ordinance? But it's obviously, it's not a table.
Well, Tim can run through that,
um,
through that.
what's your question? What do you want to say?
What are the allowed by right uses in R 1, 3, and 5?
Well, they're here. They're shown here,
Right,
like, you cannot have auto sales lots. You can, special exception, you can have a bed and breakfast.
Mm-hmm. not allowed.
Camels only in the R5.
Right. But it's, say the R1, basically,
Yeah,
CI district.
Okay.
Shops,
Yeah.
special.
yeah, so
These are the-
these are businesses
permitted
that
uses.
are either allowed or not allowed.
Right,
And if somebody, goes through this table and they can combine two different
right.
uses, then it's legal.
Right.
And I don't,
In the
I don't
CI, you
think
could
that-
have auto equipment, recreation, and you could also have office and business. Because they're both allowed.
yeah, so I don't think it's gonna cause
No,
any problem.
no. Can have general retail. Yep. Shouldn't have a problem there.
Yeah.
Home-based businesses and offices. My only question there is about the CI. Currently, no. And it seems like we ought to change that, but we don't want to change anything in those
Right,
districts. We leave it alone.
yeah,
Well,
next time down.
you don't have by right any residential in either CI or CO
Well, you do.
Yeah, you
by
got
special exception.
Single family residence.
single family around the
CI.
CO.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But current ordinance says no home-based businesses in the CO, even if you got a home.
Right,
So we're not touching, hopefully, CI and CO, so
Just leave it alone.
leave it alone.
let them stay the way they are.
Fix it the next year.
Next year's project.
Right,
Okay. Clustered housing subdivisions.
yep.
Can we go to that definition thing that you had?
Cluster housing, right there.
Cannot change.
So is
size.
mobile home park considered cluster housing?
Well,
It doesn't have the same setbacks.
it's, that's questionable. That's in the synonym part and I couldn't really figure out what would be the difference. Between a clustered mobile home park and a clustered housing.
It's the density and the setbacks.
They're the same. I don't,
Yeah,
the existing,
Clustered housing is not, the definition is not a mobile home park. Although indeed they are clustered in nice neat rows.
right.
But there is no trade-off
Oh,
of greater density in exchange for open land and setbacks.
So since the synonym is what caught my eye. And
you can take that out.
we are, I think, agreed that a mobile home park is different from a cluster development in that it doesn't increase density with a trade-off or as a trade-off for open space. We just eliminate the mobile home part and keep the rest of it.
Yeah,
Can do that.
And manufactured housing, the state changed the definition of that this year and says it has to be allowed in all districts where residential zoning is allowed,
Right. So we're all set.
which basically means no changes.
Right.
When they say manufactured housing, are they talking about the two halves of the double wide that get put together into a house, or are they talking about the trailer on wheels?
Both.
Not only both, but they're also including, pre-built or factory-built houses,
So La Valley
modular houses.
No, that's two different building codes. The manufactured homes are built to the housing and urban development codes,
Right,
which typically result in the single wide trailer or the double wide.
yeah,
Modular housing is built to the state building code.
right.
That's not manufactured housing according to the term.
It's not, my house is,
But according to the new state law, that qualifies as manufactured housing, I believe.
No, because it's not. It's not manufactured housing. It's always been recognized as the same as a stick-built house.
Yeah, just in a better environment on a level table.
Well, I mean,
I'm agreeing with you.
my house is built to the same, I have one of those La Valley
Right,
homes.
the La Valley
It's built
home.
To the same standards as if you just went out and built a house
Built a
next
stick
door,
house.
they just did it in a warehouse in sections. And brought it out and put
Right.
it together.
Is that considered manufactured housing?
No,
And they even call it something else, I'm not sure what it is that they call it, but
New Hampshire definition of manufactured housing, 2025.
So the thing I couldn't square with this cluster development thing was with the manufactured housing is, we don't really, the ordinance doesn't really say how you can lay out a manufactured housing park.
Right.
The only one we've got kind of actively being planned is the one up on Maple Street, right? Do you recall if he's, does he have town water and sewer there?
No.
Has town water.
maybe, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he has water, but doesn't have sewer.
Town sewer. So best he could do is, 1 acre per trailer.
Yes. Yes,
Who's planning a trailer park on Maple Street?
where the one was approved 25 years ago. There's now 3 or 4
Oh, yeah.
there. It was actually approved for, I think, 50.
And it is possible that in a couple of years, that situation will change if Land Farms goes through
And brings.
and builds the sewer down their access road that borders his property. So it is possible that at that point, it'd be a different situation.
Okay.
Right,
My point is under the current ordinance, you couldn't build a traditional courier's trailer park.
Right.
Because you can't have that many housing units that close together.
right,
Since this would be in the village district.
Yep.
And we were not gonna have the density tied to the size of the lot. seems like you could. In fact,
If he could, yeah, if he could find it.
and we've talked about this,
Right.
if you wanted to build, instead of mobile homes, you wanted to put 10,000 square foot cottages on that same parcel. You do that.
Right.
Subject to the setbacks and
Mhm.
topography and all those other criteria. So the clustered housing thing probably really doesn't apply to the EV, ED and E4 districts. I don't think they would.
It could apply to on 4.
Or maybe,
So I generally agree, but the easier solution there is to just allow it, and then if somebody happens to figure it out.
Well, so
Because there are a couple of like.
you'd end up with, two conflicting criteria. Say clusters allowed in B, D, and 4. So you go to the cluster regulations in the ordinance, and it talks about housing density based on lot size being reduced and.
Yeah.
You know. It basically, it changes the setbacks so you can put the buildings closer together on the same big
Right.
piece of land. Well, that doesn't really apply at all to the 3 village districts. So I'm wondering if leave the clustered housing subdivisions there. For the first 3 districts, we just said this doesn't apply.
No, but I guess what I'm asking is, there are several 10-acre lots still in the village. How big a lot do you think is necessary to have a clustered housing?
Well, I'm working on one in, Lebanon, project manager for the city.
Yeah.
I'm putting 5 houses on about 1 acre.
Yeah.
Is that the Barrow Street one?
Right, so
That's 2.3 acres, I think.
Yeah, but
Part of it.
effectively, the only part you can build on is about 1 acre.
so if somebody would, I mean, there's only a couple of lots that are big enough, but if somebody had one of those 10-acre lots. And they wanted to build 5 houses on a 2-acre section of it and conserve the other 8 acres, why would we not allow that?
Because we are allowing them.
No, if you don't put an A there, then it's not allowed.
No, I'm saying that the term clustered housing subdivision really only applies to the R1, 3, and 5 districts.
No.
But what Eric is saying is that there are a certain number of lots within the village and EV4 and EVD.
right,
Where you've got, the acreage is large enough
Yeah.
that you could, somebody was being creative about it, you could get a density bonus,
Yeah.
conserve the rest of the 10 acres and put,
Yeah.
5 houses, put 6 houses, 7 houses,
We
whatever.
don't need a density bonus.
is it a matter of need or just the
Well-
opportunity?
I guess that gets into whether we have limits, if we haven't gotten to it.
right,
Oh,
Because you're correct. If that's the direction we move in, then you're correct.
Right.
But I guess what I'm saying is it's far easier to just allow things in this case, and then if it doesn't apply, if we've missed the case, like, it's not an unacceptable use, is I guess what I'm saying. So if somebody were to come up with this corner case that it applied, and it's an acceptable use, we should just allow it. And it's easier, and then nobody has to, you don't have to discuss much of it, because otherwise somebody is in this corner case that we didn't anticipate,
so
with an acceptable use, but they can't do it.
So what we'd be telling them is, I want to do a clustered housing on this lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So I should go to the clustered housing section in here and it tells me how to do it, right?
Yep.
Well, no, that doesn't apply.
But they're gonna, But if somebody follows that and does it, that's okay. And they're gonna call Rob. And this is gonna be a corner case, and they're gonna learn about it.
Right.
I think what I'm saying is, I feel like the table can also have a code that just says this term doesn't really apply to this district. I don't know what that would be, just be a gray box, you know, and then we key it to that.
Well, it's gotta be either it applies, it's allowed, or special exception,
Right.
conditional use, or it's not allowed. I think putting in a gray box, that's a gray area, is gonna be confusing and potentially wind the town up in court.
Legal limbo.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, we'll move on. So
Yeah, it's,
what are we doing in
Because there's a-
DD?
there's a 50-acre lot. That's in that district.
Yes.
That would be lovely for clustered.
Yeah, so that'll be allowed for all the three.
Yeah,
So in the downtown, we're gonna allow cluster housing.
if you got it. If you got
If
size
you've
enough
got the
lot,
acreage, why not?
How much acres do you need?
depends on how many houses you're building.
I wanna build 10, and I've got 1 acre.
Well, are
Well,
you
you're
going
building multifamily then.
No, they're not gonna be connected.
Okay,
So a cottage court type of thing?
Have what's the requirement for percentage?
There isn't.
50%,
No, I mean, it's,
then it's not a cluster.
we're talking about an incredibly small corner case, and honestly, if somebody were to figure that out.
Yeah.
What's the problem? So it's a serious question. What's the problem with that? If somebody,
Can figure it
they
out,
can figure it out.
right?
I think you should put an A in this,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
block.
Oh, yeah,
The reason to have it isn't for the little lots.
Right.
I understand that.
but
So why,
it can be done.
but we're also saying in the big lots downtown, let's say the Crate lot down on South Main Street, they wanted to put 40 houses there. Development, they could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't even consider the cluster issue. They're clustered.
Well,
Not-
that
not
would be more advantageous to them than doing the
Cluster.
cluster
Yeah.
development. Therefore, it's hard to imagine they'd choose something less advantageous. So
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with what you guys
Right, well,
want. So it's,
we would allow it.
so we're putting an A in EVD.
Yep,
There's a question in the CI because the clustered housing is not a permitted use in a CI. Why? I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
we're not changing those, so
Just
you
put
don't
an
need
in.
to worry about it this year.
We put an in, right?
So it's still an N.
All right, to commercial. I'll skip the ones that are already, it seems like decisions have been made or the existing.
Yep.
ordinances made a determination. Bed and breakfast is not allowed at CI, so that's an N, right?
Yep.
Boat sales.
you
If someone,
forgot boarding houses, you skipped a lot.
well, that one's already,
No, it's already there. We're only doing the yellow
Oh, okay.
boxes.
Got it.
Boat sales, are we gonna allow it in the EVD?
Sure.
Why not?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I think about like, Tim Quirk's building.
you could get into the water from there. Yeah,
Well, you don't necessarily have
I
to
know.
go into the water to sell
but you can
kayaks.
sell, you can
Or
sell
canoes.
kayaks or canoes or,
You know.
right.
And it's not a permitted use in the other districts. So those are all in.
How about CI? Should we allow it there?
We're not gonna
We're not
change.
changing,
We're not changing it.
we're not
Okay.
changing what's there, so it's probably not.
So N straight across.
Yeah.
And straight across for the breweries too.
On the boat sales, we're not allowing it in the EV?
We are allowing in.
No, EV.
In EV.
I think we should, but that was what was said last time.
Yeah, I know. Let's say rental of kayaks.
Well, think about where the EV is. You know, it's South Main Street.
Yeah.
Basically, anywhere near the water. It's not Route 4, it's not downtown.
Right.
But it would be up Maple Street or, Stephen Street, Union Street.
Question, this is specifically boat sales.
Right.
What if it said bicycle sales? I mean, are we gonna,
It's covered with,
Outdoor recreation.
something else.
Yeah.
Boat sales.
boats or outdoor recreation?
Yeah,
So it, isn't that particularly aimed at waterfront?
Not necessarily. You'll have a boat sales lot. Can be miles from the lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what this is talking
but
about.
I think the
Does say boat
reason
ramp.
it's on our horizon is because people are worried about the lakefront.
Yes. One thing she's bringing up is why are boat sales singled out compared to other general retail?
Yeah.
And I think bicycles is a good example of, like, why is it pulled out from that? Like, if somebody wanted to do bicycle rental sales, service and storage,
Right.
and they had an appropriate building for it, and they could figure it all out.
Well,
why wouldn't they?
Right.
we could change that to a little bit more inclusive. I'm not sure why it was.
Because it was in a list somewhere. And that's
Right.
in a list.
What if we just crossed out boat and said sales, rental, service and storage establishments? Does that make it more encompassing?
Well, the first one in this list, auto equipment and recreational vehicle sales, that's pretty specific.
It is.
You know, you're talking about Shaker Valley Auto. Right? Or the little equipment dealer that's down the street or the one that's on the other side of Route
Right.
4.
So would that just be outdoor recreation?
Could be, maybe boats could be included.
Or
in the
maybe
list,
you
but-
could write like boats, bicycles, or other outdoor. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Cause you can't get rid of the word boat. Cause if you get rid of the word boat,
then it becomes,
it means I can sell,
It's wide open.
I can sell mobile homes.
What if boat appeared in the list? Auto, equipment, recreational vehicle and boat sales, rental and services tab. And then we change the one,
No.
No.
No,
No.
what if,
Dealerships.
what if we said recreational equipment and accessories, rental, service, storage?
yeah, we're getting into, because that's
Right.
that's what ATVs
That's what
and
ATV,
RTVs, that's the language they use now.
Okay, we don't want that.
Well, I'm just like, that's what the language they use now, and that's changed over the last 10 years.
right.
well, look where we're gonna allow it currently. The top line, auto equipment and rec vehicle sales, only in the EV4 and in the CI district. Okay? So I think you could put boats in there. Recreational vehicles, and as you say, includes ATVs and motorcycles and just about anything,
Snowmobiles.
snowmobiles. They're only allowed in those two sections of town.
So they're not allowed where the water is?
Yeah, so I do think there's a subtle difference of like, somebody who wants to set up a kayak rental business.
Yeah, I do, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just
Or a
how do we
bicycle-
define
Or
that?
a bicycle rental business.
Maybe that's just retail sales.
Yeah,
Non-motorized?
yeah, then we can all argue about e-bikes.
I'm not gonna argue about it. I'm not gonna argue about them. If somebody
Somebody
wants to
will
put an
though.
EV there, no, if somebody wants to put an EV one there, I have no problem with it.
Hybrid bikes.
Well, maybe for now, Tim, think about that language. I think you're onto some good ideas.
Yeah,
I can flag that as something that.
but we need to come back to,
Okay, so I'm just to summarize, I'm inclined to put boats up there with autos and equipment and everything
No.
else.
No,
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 motorboats?
Well, for one thing, auto sales and service, there's a lot of petroleum products floating around there, at least
So are
in
there
this
boats?
decade.
so are there for boats?
Boats, recreational vehicles, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, all that
Right,
is the same in that term.
isn't there a marine dealership on 4A?
Yes,
yes, there is.
Gray's Marina.
Yeah,
There used to be one right on the lake at the bridge.
right.
So he would be a grandfather.
He's grandfathered in the R1.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. He is grandfathered.
Well, but it changed hands. And then it
That's true. It did
It
change
did
hands.
change hands and it was gutted and made into a house.
Yeah.
Right,
Um,
And now it's a short-term rental house.
Talking about Grace Marine.
yeah,
No, not Grace
not
Marine.
raised.
I can't remember
Over
its
the-
name
over the
anymore.
There's another one.
It's the last house on the
Before you
left
get to the water,
Yeah.
yeah,
as you're heading towards 4A.
Yeah,
Right.
his grandfather's no more.
right, right. Oh, no, his is gone.
So I think if all of that recreational auto equipment stuff limited to the EV4 and the CI district is appropriate.
Would you limit a bicycle rental and sale?
No, I would probably put that down there and within general retail
Yeah,
business. You could say retail and rental business.
yeah,
Okay,
And maybe we just strike out the boat sales rental, that whole line.
yeah, with the boat
Yeah.
on top. Yeah. Okay,
So we're just crossing off the boat.
Yep.
Sales.
Yeah.
The whole line.
that whole line's
disappears.
gone.
There's a question about one that's not highlighted. Actually, we can do the word first.
We more or less okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
where's that? Next.
So the contractor's yard,
Mhm.
Yep.
looking at the definition that we have, which is carpenter shop, plumbing, electrical, roofing, contracting, or other similar services established under the infill definition, we already have a reasonable number of those within the EV.
Oh, yeah,
I think we need to allow them, at least in the EV, if not also the E EVD.
Do we have a?
yeah,
Yeah, so look at the difference between contractor's yard, what the city has it shown, and that's what kind of.
the one on the right
Way
sounds
to the
like
right.
what the patents had for maintaining their equipment.
yeah,
Oh, they had the contractor's yard home base, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least, there's two of them on my road, there's Jamie Martin, there's quite a few.
And we could have two different definitions.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think regardless of the definition, I mean, even the.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'm just saying, there's quite a few already there,
quite a few in the
and they're
R1.
definitely not causing any problems.
No,
So I think it should be allowed in the EV.
yeah,
Right now, it's in it.
I think where we run into problems with this is if, let's say someone on Stevens Street fact, there's an apartment building that burned down up there and there's a vacant lot.
Yeah.
And so now an excavating contractor wants to pull in there and have all of his stuff. I don't really have any problem with that, but I'm sure the people that live around it do. It's a new use. I can see that affecting property values,
And I
noise issues.
guess I disagree, because I think my new neighbors qualify for this. I think
Right.
that's a third on our street.
Well, he's already there. You,
No, they just
No, no.
moved in.
They just moved in.
And unfortunately, one of our neighbors passed away,
what does he do?
a locksmith. And he uses that as, he parks his truck there, and I don't know that he does anything in the garage, but presumably, like,
Right.
he does prep stuff in the garage.
And so to address that, I think we have our definition, of home-based business, include that sort of use.
So we're going to include contractors' yards as defined here of, carpenter shop, plumbing, electrical, roofing, contractor, and similar service establishments. Why wouldn't we just allow contractor yards? Rather than pushing that into a different definition.
Because I think I think our voters are gonna be fine with a home-based business. I think they may not like the idea of a new contractor's yard being built in some of these residential districts. Of the size of, say, where do we have one now? It's substantial size.
You have an excavating group up by you too, don't you?
We have painters, we have a trucker,
The trucker, that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
And Bill Warren in some respects has a contractor's yard at the barn across the street.
Okay.
He did at one
Yeah,
point have a
okay.
lot more activity.
Yeah. That's a perfectly good use for that property.
Right. Crates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contractor
Right,
yard.
exactly. I feel like there's just so many, but that's actually part of what the village is,
Right.
general blue collar working people live in the village and they have their businesses at their home. And I really don't want to prevent that. Right. I think that is actually a bigger change for the village than having some new contractor yard. Right, that's kind of part of who we are.
It's been what this town is.
Yeah.
Okay. So allowed in, yeah,
I'd go ahead and allow it in the downtown as well, but there's truly no space there.
There's no space to do it, but.
But again, if somebody
Right.
could figure it out,
Yeah.
so actually,
But you could have the locksmith
I-
downtown.
yeah, well, and also, in Ken Port's building, at one point, that was effectively a contractor's yard.
Yeah.
There's still trucks out back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that should also be in downtown. I think we should allow it in all three.
all zones. Yeah, I'll go along.
If you can. Yeah, I would even more so downtown.
One question, I hate to drag us back to both sales and rentals, but did we, by striking that line, exclude storage facilities? So, it's multi-garage that folks rent for storage of their belongings.
So you can, I can add that to that.
I didn't see that anywhere else.
We have one to general
I
retail.
wouldn't mind getting rid of it.
Do you mean a storage, like a self-storage?
Yeah, self-storage
Well, and I think this meant to apply in
was the storing your boats.
boats in the racks at the.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
But if you get rid of that whole thing, you don't have storage facility anyplace.
Well,
Right,
we'll
that's
just,
what I'm
we'll
worried.
just put it up here in service.
Okay.
Auto equipment, boat, wrecked vehicle, sales, rental, service, storage. And
Yeah.
establishments.
Yeah.
Okay. To your point though, Dan, about a storage facility like they just built on Flanders.
Yeah.
That be, we need to specify that, or is that general retail?
No, I'd allow it I'd allow it in there, but I don't think you're gonna have it in EV or EBD, or want it in EV or EBD.
No.
But no problem having it on the Route 4.
So what I'm saying is, it's not in our list. It's not even in our list.
What's a storage facility?
Yeah.
I thought you just put it up in the auto equipment line.
That's dealing with auto equipment, boats, et cetera, but in terms of a self-storage facility.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably worth just adding it
okay, we'll add it. Yeah, add it as a
as a allowed.
Another
EV
allow-
for, but not
PV four allowed use.
So that'll be kind of its own category. Its own line.
Let's give that a try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gonna allow it anyplace else? Well, we don't care about anyplace else right now because we only care about downtown districts.
well,
Well, the three districts.
the self-storage and EV, yes, no.
No.
No,
Okay, how about
strictly in the E4.
downtown?
No, strictly EB4. Yeah,
No, it's not specifically addressed in it. Well, it's probably no, no, no. Rural districts, right?
And
Yeah.
there is one in the CIs.
right. It's probably allowed in the CI. We'll just see what it is. What it says now.
I don't think it's really addressed.
Probably isn't. Just exists. Like a lot of
It was a
things.
commercial business, they felt.
Yeah,
It comes in within somewhat something.
right.
We're back up to general retail business.
Which we also included the
And rental.
Yes. Yep. General retail business. We're not allowing it in the EV.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Maybe, maybe by special exception. Or CU, but. Which I don't think it should be a by right.
Okay.
What are we on?
General retail business. Put an S there?
That works for me.
Yeah.
Also, once we get the definition and understand how conditional use permits can work.
Right.
And if we decide to go with that, then we can go back and.
Yeah.
Adjustments.
And it also may be when we get to doing the site plan and commercial stuff, and there's some
Right.
stuff around some of these.
How about general service business?
What exactly is a general service business?
Put it up on the board.
I'll just say while she's doing that, these are good tables, by the way. Nice job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're great.
Well, we're getting closer to what. we
Yeah, no,
want.
it's really,
General service business. There is nothing. We don't know what it is. Oh, okay, financial institutions.
That's Lebanon's.
That's Lebanon's.
Yep.
I thought we had a spot for banks. We do.
Yeah,
Banks
We
is
do.
already on one of our
on,
things.
Shops,
Or
nail
downtown.
salons,
Yeah,
lunch, for the graphic studios, tailors, shoe repair.
well, how do we differentiate or where is the line between a home business and a general retail business? I'm thinking of like the hair salon on Shaker, that's in
Yep.
R1,
yep, it is.
and
All
I'm
tied up in
sure
the-
there
in the
are lots
definition.
of others.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have home business up there? Some of these I didn't get to, so they're blank. But I think we have that definition in our existing ordinance. Base business.
Why would you not allow
It's called home occupations.
general service business in the village?
You should allow a general service.
I thought someone said,
I mean, if,
It's blank.
if a bank is a general service business,
I must have got the shoe repair store on those first floors over there.
yeah. What about,
Where's home base?
Right here.
Oh, okay, non-residential use portion of dwelling unit with no structural changes to the building and land. Okay.
So my proposed definition, Was that- you'd refer to the section in the zoning ordinance about home-based business. And that would describe things like, David, I think you're thinking of is, you know, you don't have 15 cars at once showing up. It's, I mean, somehow we define that. Yeah, that's what I think of as a home business. You know, you don't have a lot of in and out traffic. Materials deliveries, and you get your, you know, your UPS or FedEx comes once a day if you're lucky. You might have an employee,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, you just don't have people coming in and out all day. Yeah, and our existing, ordinance has, the section on that. I can find it. Well, I don't need to find it right now. What about combining retail and service into one line?
I can buy that,
Sure.
yeah. Special exception in the EV AA, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, combine the two. Why
Golf
can't I have a
courses.
golf course downtown?
Well, no, all right,
What do you mean?
suppose someone wanted to put a putt-putt course in
Well,
mini golf. I was just gonna bring that up. How would we deal with that?
Did do it.
there was an EV4, in the EV4, there was a mini
It
golf,
was R1.
right? Yeah,
You didn't, really.
he really did this
This
much.
is your age group.
Anyway, it would probably be an outdoor recreation
Yeah.
facility. It's probably what we qualify.
Right.
So, but a golf course,
Special exception in the CI.
so it'd have to be no in the rural districts,
Yeah,
if it's not addressed there.
yeah,
Hotel and motel. I don't really know what the difference is. That's why I put them on the same line.
yeah,
And, but bed and breakfast is different.
bed breakfast is a different animal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we can't have
EBD,
it.
I think
Why wouldn't you allow it in, oh, because you don't have parking.
well, I mean, conceivably, take the Copeland block.
Yeah,
You could say, I want to make this a mini hotel.
yeah, boutique hotel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
boutique Hotel. It's just a term. I mean.
right,
But it's, the definition does talk about. It's not seasonal use, it's not
right,
permanent use, whatever. It's transient for, what is it, less than 30 days?
Yeah.
Something like that.
yeah,
So I don't say we shouldn't allow it. I just don't think it would probably ever come up
right,
in the downtown district. And if it did, it would be something of that scale.
yeah. And they'd have to take care of their own parking issue because it is a commercial,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they could have
We say in a-
parking underneath the,
Yeah, no,
underneath the
I'd say
boutique.
allow it and then
Yeah,
understand it's really hard but if somebody can figure it out.
if you can figure it out, I'll let you do it. What about the EV district?
I think we already,
No,
Okay, I'm just saying, because you could build one, you could conceivably be able to do it.
yeah, but
No, I mean, on the northern end of. You could build a hotel behind the Enfield garage on that lot. Would very easily fit there.
Right.
but that's in the, that's in the
That's the-
report.
Oh, that's Route 4, okay. You're right. Yeah, okay,
According to Google, the definition between the hotel and the motel is basically like the aesthetics. You pull up, a hotel has a lobby, parking lot. The motels are more, you go down and rent at one end and you park right out in front of your room.
Unit.
Is it a motel?
right.
The major
And you don't
difference.
even see those built anymore.
motel comes from the words motor hotel,
Right,
back when they invented automobiles.
right. And a lot of the hotels now actually are motels, would be on the old,
Yeah,
of the old
Yeah.
concept, would be a motel.
Indoor commercial recreation. Oh, that could be everything from
Yeah.
a fitness center to
Right.
velodrome, yeah, pool, indoor pool.
so
Gonna allow the EVD, you think?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
Why not?
I mean, if somebody wanted to put
A gym.
a gym or a pool hall,
yeah,
a gaming arcade.
yeah. All right,
And I know that would be a good addition to downtown. It would draw people,
yeah, okay.
but not
On the
in,
other side of the
no.
brewery.
not in EV.
Oh,
No.
no, I agree.
Motorsports currently not allowed in the older districts.
Right,
Um,
probably not allowed any place.
Office business, difference between the two, well, we talked about that, we don't need.
Right.
Outdoor commercial recreation, that's everything from a ski slope to
Yeah,
what? Whitney? Help me out here.
What are we looking for? Sorry.
outdoor commercial recreation facility.
Wouldn't a golf course fit under that broad umbrella of outdoor commercial recreation?
It could, it certainly could. Golf course is specifically mentioned really
Right.
only in the CO district, CI and CO district.
Tennis courts, swimming pool,
Yeah.
play fields,
Yeah.
ski trails.
Right, but golf courses is in the definition.
Right,
So yes, would include it.
yeah,
So do we wanna move golf course and include it with commercial outdoor recreation?
Yeah,
Just to simplify the table?
I think so.
We could, I'll have to handle that special exception in the CI a little differently, but yeah, we could do that. Okay. Outdoor farms range. Guess we have to put
How about
those,
one's enough?
I think we have to put nose in the other one if we're not gonna change them.
What does
You
state
actually
law
can't
say
put no.
about,
you actually can't put, no.
No.
By law, you have a right for outdoor firearm.
anywhere, pretty much?
This is the commercial facility though.
Well,
That makes
Well-
a difference.
that's commercial,
I know, but that's grandfather.
right,
Yeah,
but I'm saying by right,
anybody can put a firing arm outdoor
facility,
wherever.
right,
Well, oh,
I don't like the idea of a firing range in a residential district because they get awful loud
right,
sometimes.
I agree,
well, that's what I mean. If you, so you're gonna allow that, then you could be anything. We're talking about 40 shooting stations,
Mm,
indoor building, support building, and all that stuff that goes with it. It could be the size of the infield outing club on steroids.
oh, yeah,
Yep,
I think that's what they're talking about, commercial,
yeah,
firearms range
yeah,
versus the guy who wants to set up a
right.
blinking target in his backyard. Which I agree with you, probably, there's no way to, you can't prohibit
Just
that.
to throw a mix into it, there's places over in Vermont that people bought land, built them.
Right.
Claimed that they were their own personal shooting range.
Right.
But they allowed their friends to come over.
And
And
charge
as
them
long
to
as
come over.
he- and you could charge them to come over and
Right.
shoot as long as he didn't make a profit.
Right,
So he could, yeah, and it was. They ended up getting it shut down. I don't remember exactly how, but there was a lot of court money spent
Yeah.
by the town to get it shut down.
Well, so currently, that's not allowed in any of the rural districts.
right,
Or the CO or CI. So if we just leave that alone,
we'll leave it alone.
put ends there, right? And I don't think anybody's gonna want an outdoor firearm range in the village districts.
No,
Restaurants with drive-in or drive-through.
we need a McDonald's in town.
Chick-fil-A.
it can be in the EV4. You wanna build it there, you can have
Yeah,
it.
and that's the only place I would
Okay,
let it be.
So not in the downtown.
Definitely not.
well,
Okay, we got one, Jake's has
Yeah.
use it, but
And the bank has a drive-through, it's not a restaurant, but the bank has a drive-through.
they do.
They give out dog biscuits.
Oh, there we go, maybe, but they don't charge, so.
They don't make a profit
Yeah.
on it.
The dog biscuits are an accessory use.
right,
Restaurants without drive-through.
looks good to me.
Yeah, we want them in downtown and
Route 4.
Route 4.
Okay,
And the CI.
we got that. So next page.
Actually, on the restaurants without drive-through. I'm gonna suggest an S for the EV. I'm thinking around like what, Las Vegas. If somebody had a facility like that, there are some they could be in,
Like where?
like what, at the old Shaker, bed and breakfast, Lindsay's.
Oh, Lindsay's,
Church House.
Lindsay's.
If somebody set something like that up as a restaurant in the EV district. Because they had space, and there are a few places that do, that seems like it'd be perfectly
What did she have?
appropriate.
Once
She
a
run,
month,
yeah, she runs the restaurant out of the old carriage house at the bed and breakfast.
That's in the R1.
Home-based
right?
business.
It is, but I'm using that as an
Right.
example, like,
Yeah,
if somebody were within the
Yeah.
Enfield Village area wanted to do something like that as a restaurant.
A home-based business.
no,
No.
rent the facility for the July, August,
right,
dinner and the monthly dinner. That's what she's.
I think
doing
she's
now.
doing them weekly now,
Oh,
isn't
is
she?
she?
But
yeah, it's
I-
becoming very close to being a questionable use in the R1 district.
and
shall we say.
if you're specifically calling out restaurants, then you can't say, well, my restaurant's a general business, not a
Right.
restaurant.
Yeah,
So I don't think the, home-based business works if you've called out the business specifically somewhere else.
but I think hers, or she's making it fall under, trying to make it fall.
Tim suggested that we wouldn't need it because we could use the home-based business for that
Oh.
scenario.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
you
no,
can't
no.
because you've specifically called out restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting special exception now for those special cases where somebody's got something going on.
Is Mickey's, Guzano's in Route 4
No, they're in
or
downtown.
downtown?
Oh,
So they're grandfathered, but we don't want,
Well, I think we should allow them in,
I think we gotta allow,
I think we should, well, so the restaurants without drive-through, they're allowed in EBD, and actually they have a drive-through as well. That's another restaurant with a drive-through.
Right?
That's
So we
in, that's
probably do
within,
need to allow it.
within the, but no, I was thinking about without a drive-through within the EV, making that a special exception.
I don't agree with that.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a McDonald's. I mean, if you're saying about her restaurant, they're serving the food that way.
I think we could tailor the home-based business to include a food service element that once it reaches a certain level, it's a restaurant.
Or catering.
I think
As soon as
That
I'm
would be
charging
tough.
for the meal, I'm a
Yeah,
restaurant.
I think if somebody comes over to my house and I charge them for food, that night I was a restaurant.
If you charge them to sleep, you're an Airbnb or
Right.
something else.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, so what do we do? Yes, for EV?
I would go with S. And the question that I would ask is, what if somebody bought a lot or a house on the waterfront and wanted to turn it into a very upscale dining establishment
And
in the EV?
I'd punt and point out that all the waterfront is outside of these districts.
He's right.
We specifically drew these to not include the waterfront.
That would, the waterfront would be in the R1.
Because yes, that's a valid
Okay.
question.
and it may be its own, I mean, eventually it may be its own district anyways.
All right,
No, I think,
And David, it's allowed by special exception in the R1.
Right.
okay.
Next page.
Yep.
Those will all have to be known. Except there is a strange clause in the CI district about. Let's see. Restaurants with entertainment or nightclub facilities are special
They are allowed.
exception in this, yeah.
They are. So we're ready for that complete to show up.
well, that might have been for Robot.
Right. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Statements. Golf course.
Vet and wedding and all that will have to be in for the yellows.
Yeah.
Animal shelter, same thing.
Yeah.
Just.
Beaches are not allowed when there's no water.
Well, does that, if nowhere in our, I guess we have, I mean, it's not mentioned in the, at the districts, or do you just not fill that in?
It's not mentioned.
It's not
If
mentioned.
it's not currently mentioned, do we need to keep that line?
Well, that's a good question. Just strike it.
That's what that's,
Yeah.
if it's not mentioned at all currently, do we need to bring it up?
Right.
Nope.
So you can put it in there. Because they're already there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but if we're not touching those other districts now,
Right.
then you don't need to add
Then
it.
you don't need to. Right. Yeah.
Boat launch, same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bus, not bus.
Yeah.
Bus stop shelter is mentioned in the other districts.
Yeah.
I think we talked about how, why would we even worry about that?
Right.
well, didn't we just allow it?
Just
Yeah.
allow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Daycare.
Yeah, I mean, where is the bus stop looking? Primary use of the lot.
Accessory.
Could be an
It would be
accessory,
an accessory use,
it's an accessory use
or it would be
on
on
public
public
property. It's
property.
on public property.
In which case, you know,
Right.
it's allowed by
Right,
right.
Are we
But
talking,
it's not subject to.
right.
what I'm missing?
We're talking about the
Bus stop, right?
bus stops as being, they'd only be an accessory use anyways.
So I made a mistake on daycare center. Those last 5 blocks should be SSSAN. Dog parks not addressed in the ordinance.
Well, there could be one in E4. EB4.
What about the proposal that Rob mentioned for the Mickey's building
Right,
for an indoor dog park?
right.
Those are the words
All
that were used.
I could envision was this fake grass that they're gonna put down downstairs.
Well, they probably wouldn't do it if they can't figure to make money at it.
And daycare and doggy park downstairs.
I guess it depends on the dog you take there. Back in Cincinnati, maybe it's huge.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded
So
like
it's the one up on
like a
Main Street.
bar that you could take
Bar.
your dog to.
Yeah, well, the dogs will be downstairs and the drinking will be upstairs.
Oh,
And-
And they'll be driving home, and the dogs will be driving when they leave.
Most of the breweries you go to, you're allowed to bring your pets in too.
Sure. Okay, so we're gonna allow a dog park in the EV4.
Sure.
Why not?
When they got the dog park in at Shaker Village,
Shake it, yep,
R1 district,
yep,
did they have to get a variance?
Municipal property.
municipal property.
Oh,
Gotcha.
and
So is Mickey's in
Downtown.
downtown?
Yeah.
So we're saying no?
this is,
I
you
mean,
should say outdoor dog park.
Yeah, because that's not gonna be a dog park. It's
okay, so outdoor dog park.
gonna be a place to just leave your dog while you're upstairs drinking.
But does that qualify?
I says, being a driver, so don't say it.
Oh,
General government structures, you leave it like it is.
Why do we have that line? Because they're not subject to
Because
zoning.
they're not subject to zoning.
Can we cross it out?
I would delete
Get rid
that
of the
line.
I think you told me to last time.
Yeah. Homeless shelters. Gonna allow them in the EVD. And the EV4.
I would say 4 yes and special exception downtown.
Okay. Agreement,
But, and no for EV,
Do,
which
Yeah.
it already is.
right.
So
special
NSA,
exception for both of those.
Instead of the N,
Yeah, well, no.
Instead of N.
EV should be an N, because that's the neighborhoods,
yeah,
and downtown and,
and
EV
4,
four,
yeah, don't we want to hear what it's about first?
Well, we don't get to hear it.
so you don't get to hear it. It's just an homeless shelter.
But if, let's say they do put some housing in out there, wouldn't we want to protect that as we do the E EV?
It would be under site plan. is where
Right,
that
that would be
site
under
plan,
site
where
plan.
that would come to us.
Right,
And I do think we want to have at least somewhere in town where we.
or
allow
it is
it.
allowed,
Yeah,
So what's your pleasure?
probably in the EV four,
I think what David suggested makes sense, allowed in the EV4 and
right,
special exception in the EGD.
right,
Because there's a couple of properties there where it might well be appropriate, but not
Yeah.
necessarily all of them.
Mhm.
right.
Hospital or clinic. We did at one point have a dental and, doctor's office. On
Downtown.
Copeland Rock.
Yeah.
I don't know if that qualifies as a hospital or a clinic or a professional office.
I
I
would
think it was a.
call that
professional-
professional.
Office. Yeah,
But I mean, I'd allow it because if.
Yeah.
Out over on the. Like say the bank went away and somebody decided to put one there.
right,
Yeah.
They put an
Yeah.
emergency clinic out
Right.
out on 4A.
You know, it'd be fine.
right,
And it's almost certainly not gonna come up. But if somebody figured it out, it'd be kind of nice to have a clinic downtown.
yeah,
Not all hospitals are big. One thing that has replaced banks on every street corner in Florida are,
Clearview,
urgent care.
Yeah.
No, oh, well, the urgent care
yeah,
is there, but what I was referring to is the people who have to go for dialysis.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Don't
the
go to
renal
the
dialysis
clinics or the
place.
hospital anymore.
Yeah.
They're right, there's
oh, yeah,
a grocery store, a cafe, a dollar store.
they're right in the strip malls,
Dialysis.
they're right in the strip malls.
Right.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
where it's cheap now.
oh, it is. One of the few things Medicare pays for, no questions asked, renal dialysis.
Managed care.
Managed care facility, assisted living, or a nursing home. EV four,
4 yes. And
special exception in the EV,
not an EV, but special in EVD.
Why not in EV?
why not an EV?
Traffic. Employee, a lot of employees.
Okay,
So
No.
I mean, as a kid, I grew
managed care facility,
up across the street from 2 hospitals.
Mhm.
And it was no big deal, except
Yeah.
when they were running the operating room and you could smell the ether.
Oh, my God.
yeah, but this is managed care,
It's also 2025. And things are a little advanced in terms of air quality.
Yeah.
Discharges and
Right.
all that sort of stuff.
I mean, managed care, assisted living, or nursing home,
there's also a recovery house,
yeah,
recovery treatment center. That's not on this list. It could be. Or it could be part of some other category. Hospital or clinic, I suppose.
right.
You know,
hospital, clinic, yeah,
I would lump recovery house in with the managed care, assisted
Yeah.
living, nursing home. Because it's a federally protected class. And you can't deny them.
No,
So if we put them in, if we lump them in with these
managed
other
care,
types of
assisted
facilities,
nursing home, put them in there. Yeah,
I would think or hope that we have met the requirement of the
Yeah.
federal law.
Call it recovery home.
recovery.
Yes.
House.
Like a halfway house?
Yeah,
It's not a halfway house.
so it's
It's a,
clean living house,
it's a sober house.
sober house.
It's a house that is,
Supports recovery.
Yes,
it supports recovery. It is either staffed by the organization that runs it or it's peer staffed.
right.
Depending, there's like 4 different levels. And I am looking at it as not me personally, but I get the impression that it's a great investment opportunity.
Yeah.
So we are likely to see a lot of them.
Yep.
I think the figure that they are throwing out is they need 15,000 recovery beds in the state of New Hampshire.
Mhm.
And they have just a tiny, tiny fraction that are operating so far. And there's a whole study committee, not a committee, but a working group that is looking at what to do with the recovery houses, what sort of state regulation, if any, what sort of municipal regulation, if any. The recovery house organizations, their line is that they're like any other single family house.
Yeah.
And they want to be treated like any other single family house. Which brings us into the whole debate of, how many non-related people can live in a house, which extends to college towns, Hanover, Dover, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
It possibly extends to short-term rentals. I mean, it's a whole big can of worms that is being looked at the state level. And what Lebanon did in their most recent city election update of their zoning regs was to say that a recovery house required a site plan review, I think, pretty sure. And that way, the neighbors get to learn about, what the house is, what the rules are, that you are not likely to have disturbances that would be any greater than a unruly family living next door to you. That there probably would not be, liquor bottles thrown on the front lawn unless it's a college town.
So what do we do with our districts in this on this regard?
Where would we put them?
SSA? Or SSS?
I would do SSS, assuming that is allowed under the federal law.
Right,
So I think I think we should allow it, and then, I think the site plan's a good place to sort of educate people about it. I think we need to allow those somewhere. For sure.
SSA,
So they're tricky, right? Because they're like, they're structured like single family homes.
right,
So they're almost more appropriate for, the EV area than the more commercial areas.
well, yeah, the recovery houses, but the managed care facility, assisted living
Oh,
facility,
but I think
Because you're putting them in
I think those are different kinds of buildings.
then
So
you gotta
I
have
think
a
you almost have to
separate
keep them
line,
separately,
okay,
because they are actually structured quite differently.
right,
So recovery house should be a different line.
gotta have to be its own
I
line,
think so, because they're very different
yeah,
facilities.
you're right, it's just a house,
Right, you know, and
So that should be, so recovery house, its own line.
yeah,
The three districts, what's the? What's
I
the permission?
think you gotta say AAA on all of them because of the federal law.
on the recovery houses, yeah,
Yeah,
but on the managed care, assisted and nursing home,
And so,
I would do SSA.
okay,
yeah, I think that's fine. That makes sense.
so managed care, SSA,
Yeah,
There's recovery and treatment centers a few lines down.
Yeah,
oh, there we go,
Is that?
yeah, that's what we're
different
talking,
than-
that's what we're talking about,
yeah, that's what we're talking.
it's right down there,
well.
And
So,
that was SSA?
No.
or, yeah,
No.
managed
That
care,
was allowed.
Managed care was SSA.
yeah,
I think there's two different things.
recovery and treatment centers are two different things.
yeah,
Because the recovery house, the sober houses
Right.
are non-medical.
right, the recovery house is like the, come get your methadone,
So what, could treatment center go up in the hospital or clinic?
now. Doesn't. Because right now they're in, basically, the recovery treatment centers are in strip malls.
As our clinics?
Yeah,
Are we gonna get confused between recovery houses and recovery and treatment centers?
no, because it's completely different. Recovery and treatment center is completely different.
No, I understand the difference. I'm
Right.
just questioning whether
We need
The-
separate lines.
the word recovery used in both places
Yeah.
is gonna cause confusion.
I mean,
Could be,
they're fairly,
Rehab,
I think David might be on
Rehab
something where they're fairly
treatment.
technical definitions.
right.
So you almost need to have different lines,
How
and
about,
then we need to add definitions that make
Right.
it clear which one each is. 'Cause-
how about rehab
kind
and
of-
treatment centers then instead of recovery?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Cause yeah, there's technical language and none of us are
Right.
really in depth, and we
Yeah.
know more about it than the rest of us clearly. Uh, Well, no, I don't know.
I
why.
know.
Only because we
Right.
had a bill.
Yeah, no,
that
that's-
came
He knows what
through
that
my
is,
committee.
Yeah, no, that's valuable
And
information. 'cause
then
it's-
I got put onto a special subcommittee.
Right,
No, but that's exactly the kind
Right.
of thing we need, right?
Yeah,
Cause these are actually technical differences
they are technical.
that we don't actually
did
really
recover.
know, so
Yeah.
we need to separate them out and add
Right,
clear definitions based
Yeah.
on industry standard or whatever.
right,
so they need two different lines for.
yeah, it's gotta be two different
yeah,
And treatment centers
Yeah.
and one for recovery. houses.
recovery houses.
recovery houses,
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
the treatment centers is online
yeah, rehab and treatment.
and the rehab is its own line.
No,
No.
recovery is its own.
Recovery houses.
Recovery's houses, and the other one is called rehab and,
treatment,
and treatment centers.
Okay.
Should we say recovery / sober houses?
No,
Okay,
no,
So,
don't go with sober, bad word.
okay.
all right, so rehab and treatment center is one line. Recovery house is one line.
Yes,
Yep.
Hospital or clinic's another line.
yep,
Got it. All right, so where were we?
We need to put
Museum.
dots across rehab and treatment center. As to where we're gonna allow
Parks and sports and recreation fields.
them. Yep,
We didn't settle on anything last time.
yeah, cause yeah. I mean, most of that is, it's town. Nobody's gonna have a,
Well, it's possible to have a private foundation run
do a park or recreation field. Yeah, it is.
A horseshoe pit.
uh, yeah, I kind of say, why not just say AAA? And
Yeah,
I would agree.
that's true, because there are private Little League fields that are run by the Little Leagues, not by the towns.
Are there, well,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I've never
Rehab
seen
and
one.
treatment center.
Yeah. I grew up next to one,
Okay,
Public and private schools, you jumped over.
Old Pony Park.
Well, they're not permitted in the older districts.
There's only one end.
Say again, Linda.
Public and private schools.
Yep.
There's one end
Yep, there's an end.
You said
and
they
then
wanted
along the
to-
line.
in the older districts. What does that mean?
Oh, the yellow to the right, R
Oh,
135 CI.
I see. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking then.
Okay, rehab and treatment centers, where are they gonna be allowed?
downtown and 4,
Downtown and 4, yeah.
so NAA.
Social service clubs, that's your Lions, your Rotary, your et cetera.
Better allow them downtown, I think.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
downtown and 4. So another NAA.
Now, should we have bars and taverns, or is that
Within New Hampshire, those restaurants.
The rest,
those are restaurants? Yeah, you gotta have a food
you
service.
don't allow bars, you have to sell food.
Yeah, okay. All right, this next agricultural section, I wrestled with myself over this. This is what I came up with. I'm not entirely happy with it. So let's discuss it. Let's try to, and Whitney, maybe you could put up the definition of
Commercial farm. Yep.
And I ended up
Dairy, nursery.
I ended up with the same definition for both commercial farm and non-commercial farm, because
Right,
you could have both. I mean, all of the uses on either one.
right.
It's like, what's the difference? You could just say farm.
I think the difference would be that non-commercial farms implies families raising food for themselves. And there's a pretty strong argument to be made that you should have the right to raise your own food on your own property.
Right,
Whereas a commercial, you're selling to somebody else,
right.
there's health and safety rules at that point.
How about the CSAs?
If that's commercial,
That's
Okay.
commercial.
right, because you're selling it to someone else. I'm trying to answer the question of like, why would they
Why
be
would it be
different ones?
non-commercial?
And I think the concerns around agriculture are gonna be smell and noise,
Right,
and maybe water quality, maybe water runoff.
yeah,
Right, so those are really the three things to think about.
Well, the farms are allowed in the older districts, except for the CO. Well, CO and CI.
right.
So we're really just talking about the three
Right.
village districts.
So commercial farm. Wouldn't that be in? um, Even a Christmas tree farm is a farm.
Right,
Well, and there are a number of lots where, like the old horse farm,
right.
is a farm. Like across the street from me is big enough for somebody to put in some greenhouses. This one gets tricky, because I think that we should allow them, but this is where
You get into the, yeah,
you don't want a hog farm.
right.
Right, somebody putting in a few greenhouses and selling commercial vegetables is,
So
Yes,
why
that's-
don't we say vegetable farm?
well, but I would also say that, I would also say the chickens would be fine, but,
Chickens are fine.
but roosters are gonna cause problems. Because nobody's gonna complain about chickens because they don't make
Right.
noise, but the roosters, people will complain because they make lots of noise.
Or kid. So in Lebanon, they have backyard poultry permit. You have to go to the health officer, to get a permit, and have backyard chickens. So that's how they handle that.
Yeah.
It's not a land use.
SSS,
That's, well, for commercial, I think they go for that,
Yeah,
not for.
not for non-commercial. No, but I'm saying commercial
Yeah.
farm SSS.
Yeah,
What about the farm stand?
Stay the same. Because there's spots where a farm stand would be perfectly reasonable.
Yeah,
No,
no, I was trying to get up with an A someplace.
so that's what I would say. I was gonna say.
Is there an A in
I think,
four?
I think there might actually, this one actually might be just allowed because of,
Right,
uh,
I can see a farm stand by Maple Street.
yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, I also think, I mean, you can feed a farm stand with an eighth of an acre garden.
Right,
Well, so what about the traffic that'll increase? Some of
the
smaller neighborhoods.
I don't think farm stands are that popular.
So when I was debating this myself,
Yeah.
between myself,
Yeah,
I came up with a non-commercial farm, a seasonal farm stand and a commercial farm stand. Thinking that commercial farm stand is liable to sell products that weren't grown there necessarily. They fill out their shelves with other things. Yeah.
Better pickings and left.
Yeah,
permanent.
yeah. Whereas your seasonal farm stand, like the one out Route 4A.
Yeah.
Halfway to Lakeview.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Okay, yeah.
And
and we may need to refine, 'cause I could see some farms just being allowed, like a vegetable farm is different than a hog farm.
Right,
And I don't know how to address that without getting overly complicated.
Yeah, what we probably. Conditional use permit really strikes me as being the way to address
Right.
this.
Right.
However, I asked this question before and I don't think we know the answer. I think conditional use permits, the way they're written in the state regs, I think it only applies to residential uses. Not sure you can do conditional use permits for commercial stuff.
yeah,
I
How
think-
about separating with commercial, with, crop and animal farms?
Again, though, I think like an egg farm is perfectly, and honestly, like sheep farms aren't gonna often don't, like there's a sheep farm in the village. And I don't.
I do goat cheese.
Yeah, I don't think.
I got a goat farm.
Yeah. Is there a way to write it so that it's allowed, but the exception is around noise, smells, and then maybe, water runoff, and maybe traffic is a fourth criteria or something?
Well, if it's by special exception.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
And your proposal is to put a pig farm on
Right.
Stephen Street.
we're probably not gonna allow it.
Right.
But the zoning board's not gonna.
Right, because you're not gonna be able to handle the waste and that.
That's right,
So they wouldn't grant a special exception.
right.
Presumably.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to put up a greenhouse and feed a small farm stand in front of the house,
It's a good, special exceptions are good.
Passes across the board.
yeah,
for the commercial, yeah, I think for this exercise, it's.
Okay, how about non-commercial farm?
I think people should have
You
the
should be
right to
able
raise
to-
their own food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. Seasonal farm stand. Yeah.
Yeah.
The question facilities I had to add, because it's addressed in an older district.
For the question, I would just say allow it because if somebody, well, there's a couple of properties where well, there was an old horse farm. Going across the street from me has horses in it.
Right.
And if somebody can figure it out in the other districts. Nobody's,
Baker Hill Road, no.
That's Route 1, yeah.
What's the road it's on? Was it
Oh, Westcott Road.
Westcott Road?
Is it still there?
no, but if some, but the
No,
property's the same, so if somebody
Right.
wanted to.
That got moved up the street.
So,
What are we doing about equestrian?
Are we making a distinction between somebody who wants to keep a horse or two versus somebody who is running a for-profit
Equestrian
equestrian business?
is a business.
do we have a definition for that?
Come on down.
I think so.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, I didn't get around to add that in, so let me look up an existing zoning ordinance.
What if there were something like high hands where, high horses? The rehab,
It's the.
Yeah, That would be a commercial facility, even though it's
Even if it's
even though it's nonprofit, yeah.
Yeah, still commercial, yeah.
Because it's different than keeping a couple of horses.
Right.
For your own use.
Questions not defined.
Not divide, yeah.
Well, do we want to just change that to commercial? Make it explicit?
Say commercial equestrian facility.
Yeah,
Allowed special exception downtown since they're questionable and then allowed on the floor if somebody, there's space there if somebody wanted to.
I would say no in the downtown.
Right. Yeah. You could make it work.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody could figure it out, I'd have no problem. I don't think they could.
Oh, no, because
No, I don't think they
I
could.
yeah, they probably could.
But if somebody's clever, more clever than I am, I don't object to that.
Downtown.
catch
Yeah,
up.
if somebody's more clever than I am, they can figure it out.
so how about in village?
How about don't even try?
I'd allow it in the village.
Yeah, and on Route 4. Yeah.
All across the board.
No, we gave a special exception to EBD. You can figure it out. That's,
so you're doing ASA.
yep,
Okay,
Hey, we are almost done.
Yeah.
And I think we should keep going even though it's past 8:30.
yeah, but this is gonna get easy. This is pretty easy now. The assembly and packaging facility, we got stuck on that last time.
I would go special on that
Okay, everybody agree, special exception?
because it depends how big,
Right,
how noisy.
depends what they're doing.
So,
Yeah,
technical question that we may not know the answer to. The brewery. They bottle.
Right,
Where does that fall in? Because I know that some breweries have fallen into problems with
um,
moving them in other towns, not in Enfield.
Right.
Falling into other things.
They grow just a little bit, they're on that line.
No, they package in the facility.
it's sent it out.
They have a bottling line.
we call that wholesale distribution, which is
Would
allowed.
we include that as, the bottling line itself is included there?
That's how we snuck them in, yeah.
Okay, no, I
Yeah, I
just
know
wanna
you-
make sure we're not, like, because that's a perfectly fine
Right.
use for that building.
Yeah.
The bottling line. And
Yeah,
I wanna make sure we're not causing a problem.
You stuck them in, but it's not allowed under this.
Right, but it's not
Right.
allowed under this. So I guess I'm saying,
Well,
maybe,
we need to change this.
right, in EBD, I think the assembly and packaging should be a special exception, whatever EV4 is,
Special.
should probably be a special
That's
exception.
what-
too, for
Yeah.
the Same
Yeah.
reason.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Bulk fuel storage and dispensing facility.
Definitely a special in 4 and not allowed.
Yeah, it's probably not even allowed any place, is it?
It isn't. It isn't.
It's in the CI.
That isn't actually mentioned in the other, as a,
You
as
know,
a.
think about, electric vehicle charging.
That's further up. We already went by that. There are charging stations that we allowed.
Oh,
This would be,
Yeah,
this would be like a distribution center for Simple Energy.
well, yeah, because we've got
Or
one.
even
No,
fuel.
I'm just saying that'd be the example.
Right.
That's what this is, not a
Yeah.
fuel
Yeah.
station.
No, it's like Eastern
Right.
up next to Whaleback at Tasco.
So next question, research and testing laboratory and the EVD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I allow it.
I mean, we had one.
Yeah,
Might lead towards special on that. I'd like to know what it is they're testing before I say yes to it.
Nuclear waste.
That's
Oh,
where I'm going.
what could be wrong with that?
okay.
So special,
Special?
could be water testing.
It could be, but.
It could,
might
if
not be.
he's right, or it could be
That's my
something
Point, yeah.
more interesting.
Warehouse and distribution.
that would be, I think, allowed in 4.
Yeah, but going back to research and testing, the problem with that is you're allowing, the special exception is for the use they say they're gonna do today. You mean if they decide to do something else, they can't do it?
Well, they have
Depending
to
on
come
what
back
it
to
is.
us.
Yeah,
Every time they get a new contract for something to test, they have to come back to us.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Right,
no,
because they were testing they were testing water, and then next time they were testing,
Dirt.
Hmm?
Somebody doing ground samples.
ground samples. Yeah,
But it's also, I mean, I think we should allow, because research can be.
right,
so many
research.
things, And it's not,
right,
you still have to follow all health and safety laws. It's not
Right.
like.
yeah, I look at, we got a water source out on 4A across the street from it. And whatever's bringing it in has an accident and we contaminate. We can say it's an accident, but you can't undo it easily.
That's true.
And it happens
Yeah.
all over the country and town ends up with no water and no other things. And it's just one of those things that can't be undone.
Mhm.
I just, you know, that makes me a little leery of a blanket, yes.
So EV4, you would go with S.
Yes.
yeah. That's, okay, I agree, because that's where the water source is.
Yeah.
Okay,
S? Paul, you're dominating the discussion today.
yeah, really.
Not disagreeing.
Okay.
Sand and gravel pits, we're not gonna let them have them. Oh, man,
No way.
well, that's too bad, because there's some real nice sand in EV4.
Yeah, but there is a bottom one.
Hmm?
That bottom lane.
LaCroix's land.
Yeah.
Real nice sand and gravel up there,
But that's. not
behind
why.
Shaker
See,
Valley Auto.
Oh,
The reason we don't want to allow it down here is we don't
Right.
want that use to take over.
Exactly.
or to take the place of a
Right.
housing development.
Right, because,
And you would have an awful lot of truck traffic,
oh yeah,
which we don't need.
it's some of the
more.
best sand and gravel in New Hampshire is on the Bog Road.
Let's-
This
Let's
last part, utilities, we don't even have to address these things.
Did you do warehouse and distribution center?
Oh.
Skip that.
I thought we did, I'm sorry.
Oh,
No,
well, just,
No, yes, right?
just put
No,
it
S.
there and you
no,
can
S. Yeah, NNS.
talk about it later.
Yeah, NNS.
Isn't the brewery under distribution center though, in downtown? So should that also be S?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
SS.
Whoa, what?
the brewery is considered a warehouse and distribution center.
The brewery's a
Can
special,
we do an S there?
the brewery's a commercial establishment that we said we're gonna allow downtown and Route 4.
Yeah, except
okay.
that they have,
They
so
do.
when you get into
Right.
what they are, they have multiple uses. They
Right.
brew, they bottle, which is
And they
packaging,
ship.
and they ship.
And
From
they
that
can
little
get
spot
retail
down
sales.
They do all that.
Yes.
So we're allowing that. That's
Not
already.
if you say you can't,
Do.
so this has happened in other towns
Right,
where they got permission to brew.
right.
And they
didn't
said,
get-
well, now we're bottling. And said, well, you're not allowed to bottle.
Right,
Well,
And they're like, well, how are we supposed to
Right.
make any money?
No, they were upfront with us and.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they
No,
said
They
we're-
changed their application and came back with it.
Well, they did everything
They-
absolutely
Yeah.
correctly. Yeah,
Correct.
no,
Yeah.
and I just want to make sure that somebody else who does everything correctly can also.
Same benefit.
Sure.
True.
so is it?
So
S?
S,
I think for the downtown, it's
That's
S.
an S. Okay,
no,
no,
no.
But we're already
I think
allowed.
in our definition of brewery, distillery, or vintner, we could be a phrase in there that says bottling and shipping the product is fine.
That's
and-
probably true.
And then,
Yeah.
because what we're really talking about over here in, warehouse or assembly and packaging is,
a warehouse.
that's a big thing.
That's Walmart.
Yeah,
Or
it's in the
Amazon
industrial classification.
Distribution place,
Is it
that's what I
distribution?
think of when I read that, as opposed to them making the beer, but legally, it's an argument either way.
Yeah, but I think this is a case where Tim's right.
It's a,
If
yeah,
we define a brewery as
define a
including
brewery as-
bottling and
But-
distribution, and you know,
right.
yeah,
their
Yeah.
level of distribution, then.
Yeah.
Then you should be okay.
And they just have to run it into the state law.
Yeah, no, they've got that problem, no matter what.
They get that problem anyways. That's bad.
so are we?
Yeah.
Not doing anything on utilities?
Right,
We don't really have to, because there's only one that is in the. It's allowed everywhere, essential public utilities. Yeah,
yeah, their other problem, he needs to take care of. You,
Me,
yes,
blame everything on me, Daniel.
So I know,
as a legislator.
so we don't mention ground mount stuff in any of our stuff.
we do. Let's see. I'll find it here.
Commercial.
It's ground
It's solar
mount,
array.
except for a wireless tower. Oh, windmill?
But why, we can't say special exception on wireless towers,
No.
because that has to be allowed.
I'm looking at energy production facilities.
Right,
So like
That's
a
it.
ground mounted solar array,
right,
I think we should allow those.
I agree.
Um, I actually think commercial hydro station, we should allow. There's a ton of regulation that has nothing to do with us, like
right,
anyone to be able to do that,
right.
but there's no reason for us to prevent someone from doing hydro.
Let me catch up to you.
Would that be allowed or special?
I'd allow it.
I'd allow it. Same
Hydroelectric.
thing with the energy, the commercial ground, allow it in all three districts.
Yeah.
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 Wind turbines, I'm not so sure that I would want to allow those.
Yeah, on the commercial size,
Right,
I think I agree
yeah,
within these districts.
So, N for all three?
yeah. Can we get an S in EV4 maybe?
Trying to think through well,
For how big they are, it's everywhere.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure there's anywhere that isn't right in somebody's face. It's not like there's a ridge. I'm trying to think through it. Is there
I know
anywhere
there's no-
within this that even,
Not,
I don't think there is.
probably isn't.
Yeah, I don't, I think
So
that,
they couldn't make it work anyways.
right, but I think this is probably one of those things we say no.
No,
What are we saying no to?
The wind,
wind,
power, Commercial wind.
commercial wind,
Across the line.
yeah,
Okay.
in the outer districts, we'll talk about.
right, absolutely.
So if,
Because there is a nice ridge.
little homeowner wants to put up a little turbine in his back.
Oh, it's all his.
That's fine, that's non-commercial.
Yeah, there's non-commercial. Yeah.
So, the first line up here, commercial ground mounted solar arrays, what the old ordinance has, it's called roof
Oh, I
and
know.
ground mounted community net metered solar arrays. And if you want to fill it out, it's starting with R1, it's NSSSN.
Say that again, please, slowly.
NSSN. Should put that in there.
Fill out what? Are you going up and down or?
No, he's filling out the energy production one on the outer,
Starting at R1 though.
starting with R1. Just so you'll know what it is in the other districts.
It's,
Not allowed in the R1 district,
I
special
have
exception.
one in the R1 district.
Commercial.
But it's yours. It's not it's not
Oh, it's not
you're not commercial.
I bet.
Special exception in 3 and 5. Not allowed in the CI? Or,
No, it's not.
and
CO,
not allowed in the CO?
not allowed in the CO.
Huh,
I don't know why it's not allowed.
It's
We
interesting.
could have it in CI, I would think.
yeah,
Well, it's S in CI.
Oh,
We could
okay.
build that warehouse out there and put those on the roof and
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I could see downtown parking area with canopy that has solar arrays on
There's
it.
this town of Enfield that's got one in the R1.
Yeah. you got one right out here.
That one right out here in the R1,
But no, I'd say AAA for the ground mount.
when we get to there. Yeah, AAA and R3 districts, but then going across,
Yeah.
it should be A all the way across.
I agree, but we're
But we're not
just
touching
staying
that.
disciplined.
And
All right. Water and wastewater supplies aren't really, they're not mentioned in the old
Right,
district. Wireless towers are.
Those being public utilities,
right,
we don't have a say in them anyhow.
right.
The question would come up for private, community sewer system or water treatment. Do we want to address that?
Think within the area we're talking, you're required to join sewer.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
so
We
we
could
don't
confirm,
have
we
to worry.
could confirm that I know there's sections like on the sewer expansion, people are required to join.
right.
I think that's true everywhere, but we can confirm that, but if that's the case, then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Right,
Well, this big distinction here, this is wastewater treatment.
Right.
this is treatment, it's
Right.
not, yeah, we're not treating it anyways.
Right. Yeah, and they're allowed to have septics where they have septics. I think that's
Right.
what this is.
Yeah. So we really don't only care about the 3 commercials, because everything else is really not us. It's all,
We
all,
could just leave out this
Yeah.
wastewater treatment thing and
yeah,
Yeah.
then the water supply, treatment and storage. I think you should allow that everywhere.
they have to anyways.
Yeah.
It's essential public
public.
utility. So it's not a private deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will go back and make all these changes and send it out to you. Please, somebody double check my work.
Yep.
What about? At what point should we post this and say public? Please tell me.
I think we need to have the definitions done. So that we don't argue about what words mean.
Right.
yeah,
Uh,
Now, so someone that,
And is this our next public encounter? Is this?
Going, yeah, I think so.
I think so too. 2 weeks before the public encounter and say, look, this is over, this is
Yeah.
what we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah,
And it's just the 3 districts.
Yeah, you're saying, you definitely don't include the ones that are changed.
right.
No, you don't change, you don't include anything
So-
else, it's just the 3 districts.
3 columns.
Yeah,
Do you think we'll be ready to do that on our September first meeting?
We should make
The first meeting in September.
we should make time.
We will not be talking about Laramie at that meeting. right? Working.
Laramie is starting
In 2 weeks, 3
in,
weeks.
on the 13th, I think it is.
Yep.
Or it's our first August meeting. They came in, yesterday, I think, with a design review application.
Which one of those 2 meetings is the working?
The first one is our working meeting.
But
But we want to get started on Laramie.
we have to, because you have to hold the hearing within 21 days of them putting in their application.
Well, this is for a design.
But they put the application in at the same time, I believe.
The application no,
No, it's just the design,
the design phase is a
Okay.
separate from
so they haven't put
from
the.
the final application. But the
Okay.
design phase does require public hearing
Within 21 days.
and all that,
Yeah.
all those rules.
Okay, so,
But we probably don't want to have more than, like, if we're gonna need to have 2 or 3 design review meetings,
right,
At least, yeah,
we should do one a month.
I would agree, because we've got to get this stuff done too.
right. Yeah, oh, I agree.
So
So
what,
then our second one in August will be a work session. Hawk session,
yeah, we'll just flip them for August.
Right.
And then go back to, regular schedule in
Maybe.
September if we're lucky. Why maybe?
well, because if you hold one, then you're gonna wait 6 weeks for the second one on Laramie Farms.
Well, they may need that time.
Well, no, because I suspect the design one's gonna be more than 1 long.
Yeah. The design phase is gonna be several different
Right.
meetings. And we've got to get I'd like to see a site visit
Yeah,
scheduled in there.
Right.
My vision, okay, so for those who haven't heard, I will not be at that meeting. I did not look at a calendar when I scheduled some vacation time. And that's just the way it is. Dan will be chairing it. My vision is that they can probably spend a good couple of hours giving let's call it the 1,000-foot view.
right,
And I am gonna insist that we all have full copies of all the plans.
Yeah.
At least a week before, so that we have ample time to review them at home. And can ask intelligent questions based on plan. I'd like to do a site visit sometime after that initial meeting. And
earlier the better,
definitely earlier the better.
because it gets dark
Yeah.
earlier,
Well,
and earlier,
Do,
unless we do a Saturday morning.
I was gonna ask if people have a preference on, before a regular meeting or just do it on a Saturday morning.
I'd request before regular meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
So,
the only place to, I mean, we can drive up to the water tank. But that, oh my gosh, you can't get through that Friday up there.
Well, we have a suggestion for you. You can drive up our fields and you'll be pretty close. If, I will be gone for 6 weeks, but I can leave my son Chris's name and he can show people where the trails are to overlook this area. Or I can, before I leave, I can show someone now.
I could certainly volunteer to meet. I know your property pretty well.
Yeah. Um,
There
and
was
it's been, some parts have grown up and some new ones have been cleared. I don't know how recently you've been out there.
6 months probably.
Oh, well, it might have been. But if you wanna come over sometime,
Okay.
the clock is ticking for me because I leave in another week, but
Oh, all right. That's all right. I'll
I'm,
get in touch with you.
yeah,
Um,
I'm mostly around.
another viewing spot would be Maple Street.
Right. Where they're looking to put in the 6
Yeah,
townhouses.
you definitely want to see that too.
Where the road comes to.
The
Drive.
path.
Right.
Yeah, but, and then beyond that will be the 6 townhouses.
Right.
It'd be great to look up and have them show us where the big units are going and
Yeah,
stuff like
You
that.
can also drive up May Street to, the Tammy
Felice.
Felice,
the old Blaine farm.
the old Lane Farm, then Don Daniels Farm.
Right.
And from the field behind her house, just
Right.
around the back of the barn, you can just see right over there and see it.
She does have probably the best view. of what
Yes.
She doesn't eventually want to look at, but
So I'm thinking this might be a 2-hour expedition. Is that
right.
Is that,
I would suggest taking walking sticks and wearing boots.
oh yeah, definitely.
But Linda, we can't really drive up to your, like where your pond is.
Yeah, I do it in my car.
You do, okay.
It's even mowed these days. And I can drive all the way through what was the next field to the stone wall where the woods started. But now my son and my husband have been clearing all the dead stuff.
Well, if anybody wants to join me, I'll go visit with Linda and Alf and kind of pick out where may be a good spot to view from. And access and so forth. Pass that on. Maybe more than one.
Now, there are several places, like, it's pretty easy to get out to under the power lines.
Yeah.
From up there. Just up by the pond, there's a little trail, and then you just kind of walk around the fencing.
Do we want to have them stake out where the buildings are and the roads?
I don't think you'd see them. That brush is really thick.
Yeah,
Okay,
Well, they have clear cut.
I know, but it's grown up
Oh,
over your head now.
yeah. I haven't actually gone and looked in a while.
so we'll schedule a 4:30. Have 2 hours.
Yep.
And if we get done earlier, that's fine. And if we've only seen half of it, then we'll schedule another one.
For which meeting is that?
Well, this will be sometime after the
first meeting here.
13th.
So it'll either be the second meeting or the first in September.
Yep.
Yeah,
As we're talking about, I will also be out of town and unable to join the first one, the 13th. But I will let John know, and I'll be out of town as well.
so you're out on the 13th?
I leave on the first.
Yeah.
And come back middle of September.
You're
on
out,
the 13th.
I'm out.
Uh-oh.
Do we have a quorum?
Oh, there's 4 of us right now.
Yeah, okay.
She's off now. She's not coming
My
back.
last meeting, yep.
Plus we'll hopefully have Nate
Yeah,
next 5.
um,
And we can check
I've got John,
if John's available.
see if John's available.
And we're not making any decisions,
No, nope,
so.
no, I'm just thinking in
Ben
terms
maybe.
of getting us oriented
yeah,
and getting an explanation if with 3 of us out, if it actually makes sense to have them come in and do that.
do the second meeting instead. If
Yeah,
they will let us do, if they will do it, yeah.
I'll talk to
Talk to
Rob
Rob.
about that
Talk to Rob
tomorrow.
about that. And make this a work, if they
Yeah.
say yes, then we'll have a work meeting
Yeah.
for the first one.
Okay,
And keep it on that schedule.
yeah, I will talk to Rob about that.
Okay,
There's an issue that came up maybe a year ago that I'd like people to just listen for, and it has to do with water. At one point, maybe a year ago, Rob said there was some question that there'd be enough water for 500 units for people all at once, and that they might have to drill their own wells. I haven't heard anything about that since, and I haven't paid a lot of attention to our water supply. I think one well isn't doing as well as it was expected to. And, so, I mean, what I don't want to see is that all of our capacity goes to them, and then we can't have something out on the LaCroix land, or we can't have some business come to town because we can't support them with water.
Agreed 100%. I know that the developer has been working with the engineering firm that the town uses for water and sewer. So I know people are thinking about that. I
Alright.
don't know that there's been a resolution or hard data as to how much of the water supply they are going to need and how much will be left over for future, Enfield development. I know sewer wise, we have more than enough capacity, but the water has been red flagged already.
Yeah, you have to be able to supply your average daily demand with your largest producing well offline.
right.
And that will need to be,
Ken, there's one more thing, and you might remember this. Back in Ironman times, there was a water study done. And it was defining where the water was along I believe there were many pages, and one of them had my property and this property, and it showed reservoirs of water, and I don't mean surface water. I don't know how they do that, and some of it was on my land and some of it was on the Laramie land. I don't know who did the study or why. And, but when Peter Martin sold the roller rink and then moved to, Newport, New Hampshire, he came over and he gave me at least the page with my property, and I cannot find it. Cause I'd like to know where there's water under my land. But,
I know
can you
exactly what
remember
you
anything?
do. Yeah, there was a hydrogeologic study done that cited the prior wells and the well for my time. About 10 years before I got here. And then when I got here, we did another hydrogeologic study that led us to prior marsh well, sorry, that led us to
Right.
Macomb.
Right.
And that study also looked at the marsh well fields up Maple Street and determined that it was more likely we'd find water at McConnell than at Marsh.
Right.
And then subsequently, another study was done that led them back up to Marsh. So there, I know at least 3 studies were done. Hydrogeologic studies. Highly technical stuff.
So it was the water agency for the state that,
No, it was it's a engineer hired by the hydrogeological engineer hired by the town.
There should be a record of it.
Yeah, I suspect.
You'd
Jim's
think
gonna-
as long as someone can lay their hands on those studies, because it was pre-digital, there's no, it's either, it's on someone's shelf or it just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's right up there
It's
somewhere.
upstairs.
Mhm.
I'll bet Rob or Jim, well,
I suspect Jim.
probably Jim would know where it is.
Anyway, conclusion basically is if they gotta drill their own well, they're in really, that's not gonna work.
Deep doo-doo.
Yeah, and you can't, you couldn't accept money from them in lieu of a new well because you don't have, that money is, it's like nowhere to put it.
Hmm.
There's
What do you
no-
mean, nowhere?
you can't just assume you can take that money and drill a well somewhere. There just isn't, there aren't any high yield aquifers that we can access close enough to the existing water system. The best bet is across the lake at Shaker Village. I mean, we knew that in
Right.
1990 and, so they tried again to go up the marsh, right? And they got some small wells.
Yeah,
It helped.
so we are able to charge impact fees.
Yep. But that would be, I don't know
I don't think you could,
what you
Yeah.
gain out of that. If the conclusion is that there's not enough water to serve this development.
Right.
Having $1 million
escrow account.
escrow set up, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go to drill.
Well, we gotta see where they are and where everything else
Yeah.
is.
I think they're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose you could use the $1 million to eventually go across the lake, tie in Shaker Village. Cause they got a water supply over there that's
Yeah.
twice as big as anything we got here.
Yeah,
Would $1 million touch that?
No.
Go across the lake? I mean, that's scratching the surface on a study for it.
Yeah, we're just throwing numbers out here, but
And they can't extract from the lake itself.
no, the treatment facilities would just be enormously expensive to operate, to build and to operate.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
all right,
so we'll try to get it changed. to the
we'll try to get it changed. I'll come over and talk to Rob tomorrow morning. Any new business other than Laramie Farms that anybody wants to bring up? Nobody from the public. Our next meeting will be on the 13th of August with 3 of us not here. And we will try to shift things so that we get Laramie on the second meeting and we can continue, or those of us that are here, those of you that are here
On the IHOP.
can continue on the hop grid. And the final item on the agenda is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, abstain. We are adjourned at, call it 9:20, but before people go, I just want to say